Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my first ever YouTube video. I'm actually pretty excited because I've never done this before and I never thought I would, but I want to share my experience with you guys. Even when I was pregnant, I was watching pregnancy vlogs myself, and I still do now. I watch vlogs about newborns, and mothers talking about the first years with their babies. So yeah. So before I start talking about how I found out, I just want to mention that I was on contraception. I started off on an injection, which you get injection in like your bum kind of, and it lasts for 3 months. So I had that done twice, so altogether it lasted 6 months. And the GP kind of persuaded me to get an injection instead of getting a pill, because she was like, oh yeah, young women usually forget to take the pill and it's just much easier, which it was much easier. I don't have to remember to take a pill every day, but I put on so much weight on the injection. I went from being a size 10 to a size 14 in 6 months. Like, I was so upset because I was eating the same, and it was hard for me to even lose the weight after. I tried to lose weight and I couldn't. Like, it was so difficult. So that did really mess me up, I think. I would never recommend the injection to anyone, but everyone's bodies obviously are different and they work different. So one person can put on weight, one person won't. But yeah, I went on a pill after that, and I was staying at my boyfriend's house basically all the time, because this was when this whole virus started, and obviously I was off work. So I stayed at my boyfriend's house and I finished my first set of pills, and obviously my other set of pills was at my mum's house. So I didn't take the pill for like 2 days, which it could have been the reason why I got pregnant, but we never know. I mean, no contraception is 100%, so you just don't know. But yeah, so how I found out I was pregnant was because so this was May bank holiday weekend. Me and my friends were just having a drink up, and the next day I woke up and I had a hangover, and this hangover basically never ended. Like, I feel like each day it was just getting worse and worse, which usually when you have a hangover, the next day by evening, night time, the hangover starts to go away, and then on the second day you feel fine. Whereas this has been like 3 days now, I started to feel worse. And it was really hot. And I went to the park. I remember I was eating some salad from Tesco. And when I'm eating it, it started to smell weird, and I feel like it tasted really weird for me. But I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, okay, well, I'm just being moany because I don't feel well. So after I had a bit of that salad, I felt so tired. Like, I felt like my body was exhausted. I felt so tired. I felt so ill. I actually felt like I was going to be sick right there and then. So I fell asleep on the grass. And obviously I was with people, so it's not like I was by myself. But yeah, I fell asleep on the grass, and then I woke up after some time and I went back to my boyfriend's house, and I was just telling everyone how I feel, and everyone was like, okay, well, you should do a pregnancy test. And I didn't think there was a point of me doing a pregnancy test, because I was like, no, I'm on a pill, that's one. And second, I've done this before where I've had a pregnancy scare and then I've done a pregnancy test and it was negative. So I was just like, it's going to be the same thing. So I left it. And then a week's gone by and I still feel ill. Like, I still feel sick, like really sick. And usually I love summer, and usually I love being out in the sun, just chilling, catching the sun. But I was indoors sleeping throughout the day because I felt so ill. So that's when I was like, okay, something's not right. But I really didn't think I was pregnant. I was going to call the GP and just book a doctor's appointment and tell him how I feel. But I was like, let me just do a pregnancy test before, just to be sure. So literally that same day that I thought that, so like a week after, I'd done a pregnancy test and it come up positive. When I done a pregnancy test, usually they tell you to wait for the results. So the results will come in for like a minute. The results will come up. With me, the results come up straight away. The 2 lines come up in no time, literally. So I was just like, oh my god, like still sitting in the toilet, I was like calling my boyfriend's sister to come and have a look at it. And yeah, she had a look at it and she was like, yeah, you're pregnant. And I think that's when I started to like cry, or I cried before that, I don't know, I don't actually remember, but tears was just dropping on my face. And I was just upset, and I don't know if it was upset just because I was thinking, okay, I'm 20, you know, I don't have everything I want to have before I have a baby. Like, I don't have a house, I don't have a great income, and stuff. So I was just like, I think that's why I was a bit upset. I wasn't actually upset because of the whole, oh my god, baby situation. Like, I've loved kids and I always wanted to have a baby. And obviously I have a partner who I've been with for a while, and you know, I was happy in my relationship, so I didn't think there's anything stopping me, but it was just a really big shock for me. So yeah, so I come out the toilet and I gave the pregnancy test to my boyfriend, and he was really happy, but he didn't really show it at first because obviously I was upset, so he tried to comfort me. But I went out to get a clear blue because I wanted to know, well, we all wanted to know how many weeks pregnant I am. So I went out to get the pregnancy test. My boyfriend went out to get a bottle to celebrate. So I come back, he's drinking, I think he bought a Hennessy or something. And I done my clear blue test. And the clear blue shows that you're either 1 to 2 weeks pregnant, 3 to 4 weeks, and then I think 4 weeks plus. So for me, it showed 4 weeks plus. So I was thinking, okay, I'm like 4 or 5 weeks pregnant. So I booked a early pregnancy scan in like a private clinic. And you can only get them done from 6 weeks onwards. So I booked it for 2 weeks after the day I found out, just to be sure that I'm definitely 6 weeks or above. And I was actually 8 weeks pregnant on the scan, so I was 6 weeks pregnant when I found out, which is basically 2 months pregnant. So yeah, like, it was quite deep into pregnancy, and I didn't experience no symptoms before that. So I think it was quite late when I started experiencing symptoms, because some people say they start feeling sick from 3 weeks, but that's why everyone's different. I felt fine until obviously that day. And then how I told my parents, so that same day that I found out, my boyfriend said that we should go to my house and tell my family, and I was a bit like, no, like I wanted to let it sink in. I wanted to sleep on it. Obviously I was in shock and I still felt really ill, so I just wanted to wait till the next day because it's like evening times. I just wanted to have a sleep on it and you know, go there on a fresh day. But my boyfriend kind of persuaded us to go that same night. So when I got home, I asked my mum to come upstairs, and I wanted to tell her first, and I wanted to tell her without anyone, like without my dad knowing first, just because when I'm upset or when I'm ill, I like when my mum's around, I like to talk to my mum, I like to hug my mum. So I just thought, okay, well, she can at least advise me, or you know, say what she needs to say, basically. So when I was telling her, well, before I even told her, I just sat on the bed and she come in, she's like, what's wrong? And I just started crying, like the tears just kept dropping. And I was just, she's like, what's wrong? And I was just like, I'm pregnant. And she was actually really happy, but once again, because I was crying, she kind of held it in and she wanted to comfort me. So she hugged me and she said everything's gonna be okay. And literally she was just like, okay, well, let's go tell your dad. And I was just like, oh, like, this is the part I was dreading. I don't know why, I've always been quite scared of my dad's reaction. So I went downstairs. My dad's sitting on the sofa, so is my nan, and so is my boyfriend. He stayed downstairs, and I'm like, okay, I've got something to say. And my dad's like, I already know. And I was just like, oh, I said, I don't know how this happened, but I'm pregnant. My dad was like, I knew it. And he went all red, like he actually went so red. And my dad don't smoke, but he went out for a cigarette. And yeah, I think it's because obviously I'm his first child, like I'm his daughter. He was probably a bit worried of how we're gonna deal with it. Like he probably knew having a baby can be a bit difficult, so he kind of had like an emotional breakdown, I think. But he was fine. Like literally, I think like the next day or day after, he started busting jokes about it and, you know, just saying, oh, you can do this or you can't do that, and giving me advice and stuff. All of my whole family was actually really supportive. So yeah, that's that. I think I've mentioned everything I wanted to say today. But I will be making another video talking about my second and my third trimester. I'll be talking about how I felt, and I'll also be answering questions from my Instagram. So I'll include everything in that video, and then I will be doing a video after that talking about my birth. So subscribe and stay tuned.